Mention a few news stories. So Elon Musk is still getting along with Trump, although many people expect them to have a big fight and break up pretty soon. But anyway, him and Vivek Ramaswamy are going to be put in charge of the Department of Government Waste. And what he says, of course, he always does everything with Twitter polls, essentially. So he's going to put it all on Twitter. He's going to publish on Twitter everything he finds that he regards as government waste. There's a long tradition of this. I remember there was a Republican, I think named Proxmire, that did this when I was young. He put out a report frequently listing all sorts of incredibly stupid sounding scientific research projects and government projects that he regarded as wasteful. So it probably could be a crowd pleaser, depending on how he does it. He did say that he wants to remove 1/3 of the entire government, which is the kind of thing Republicans have talked about for a long time. No one's ever found a way to do that. We'll see. But anyway, it's not an official government agency, which they say would be almost impossible because he has so many conflicts of interest. If he was an official government employee, then he'd have to divest from Tesla and SpaceX and these other companies that depend very largely on government money, although Donald Trump absolutely did not. After promising he would divest from his conflicts of interest, he just didn't, and got blatant, obvious bribes from foreign nations while in office. So I'm not sure why Musk couldn't do the same. Like Trump, he also has a habit of just completely ignoring laws he doesn't like and getting away with it. But anyway, apparently he's going to be, for the time being, in a sort of unofficial advisory agency. We'll see what comes of it all. We can expect exciting times ahead in the Trump administration. This is pretty amazing. There's a satellite that's not in use anymore from the UK, and they just parked it out in outer space in a safe place where it could just sit until the end of time just to be out of the way. And now when they checked, somebody's moved it. Somebody took control of it, turned on the motor, and moved it halfway around the Earth from where it's supposed to be, and they don't know who did it or why. But they imagine it's probably the Americans, because the Americans did have access to those motors when it was first put up. So that's an interesting, strange little mystery. Yeah, there is. Go around to the left, pretty far around. Yeah. All right, and let me check for Twitch comments. Okay, nothing there. All right. Anyway. So you probably heard of AlphaFold. I don't know, I heard about it because I did my PhD thesis on this, of protein structure and protein motion, peripherally related to protein folding. And, let me try and, this is strange, the Zoom is no longer up to date. Oh, that's strange. Let me see. I'll try stopping and restarting the share. Very strange. All right. The Zoom share froze on me. There, now it's right. All right. Haven't seen that before. Anyway, I have to use Zoom in the classroom so people here can see it. Anyway, now they've got a new version of AlphaFold. AlphaFold is what can predict the structure of proteins from their sequence of bases, which is amino acids, I should say, which is, and it was an unsolved problem, but machine learning can do it now, and now they found a way to make it much, much faster and more efficient. So this is very useful. It can help people understand basic biology, and it can even help people track down new medicines. And so this one, I would sure like to know more about. Google is adding new security features to the Pixel phone that will notice when one of your apps is acting suspiciously, like trying to get permissions that it probably shouldn't have. And it'll warn you about that. It'll also listen to your phone calls, run them through an AI, and tell you if it appears to be a scam. So I see some privacy implications here, although they claim all the processing is done on the device. But it does seem from the description that it really is listening to what you say and what the other person says and interpreting it as text and then running it through some engine to decide if it sounds like a scam, which could, by the way, be quite useful. I just worry about abuse and spying on you and stuff. I mean, there's the government has tried many times to force all the phone to automatically detect if you have kiddie porn on the phone. And certainly, I'm sure the government would love to monitor every phone call to see if you appear to be selling drugs or involved in terrorism or something. So it kind of opens a can of worms. I remember when I made a hacking lab for the students maybe 20 years ago at City College, I had a special room just for hacking students to do attack projects, and I put signs on the wall warning people not to use it for normal purposes. And I thought about putting a camera in there and recording who was in there, but I said if I did that, I would have created a database. Then the law enforcement would come demanding to see it, and I probably would have a problem whether to give it to them or not. The better thing is just not to collect that data in the first place. Then I dodge that problem. And so I wonder about this. If they're going to be sorry they opened this can of worms. However, to be fair, Microsoft was here first with Microsoft Recall, which raised such a storm. It hasn't even come out yet. It's been postponed twice. And Apple Intelligence sounds like it's going to do the same thing, although the early versions of it are not doing it yet. So it is, a lot of companies are betting that consumers will find this so useful that they won't worry about the privacy consequences.
It's all about some people are just willing to trade in things like privacy in exchange for safety or convenience.
Yeah, and I am. I mean, I use Gmail. I know they scan all the mail to target ads, and I accept that for the unlimited inbox and all that jazz. I think it might be okay. The question is if they're going to do something bad with it.
Right. Like over in Australia, they're just getting around to passing the stuff of making sure no one under 16 can use social media.
Well, they're talking about passing that law. The problem is there's no way to do it. How do you tell if someone's over 16?
Well, they're gonna try enforcing uploading your ID.
Oh, no. Okay, the one I saw said they're going to use facial biometrics and stuff. And that is ridiculous because just telling from how somebody looks, there's people who look young, there's people who look old. I mean, there was a phone app a while ago, it was supposed to be just for women, and it would look at your face to decide if you're a woman, and man, that led to a huge storm of controversy.
I can imagine.
Yeah, and this is the same thing. I don't think there is any way to tell if you're 16. That's why I think Australia's done this before. They pass a law and demand something that is technically impossible, and have to go through suffering to find out that it's actually impossible.
The country that started out as a present colony, they get extremely close to a police state.
Well, yeah, that's true. They do have this habit. They several years ago they announced that they were going to require a firewall in Australia that would block all the malware, all the illegal stolen property, and all the porn on the internet. And all the technical people said, there's nothing you can buy that will do that, and they ignored it and spent millions of dollars trying to do it and eventually gave up and failed because there is nothing you can buy that will do that. A lot of people would like that, but there is no technical way to accomplish it.
I guess the way China would go around it is by making their own in-split internet.
Yeah, China has, you could do it the way China does. They've approximately accomplished it. You have to have like sensors censoring the whole internet, like rating it like movies, constantly. That's true. I guess I shouldn't say it's impossible. You can do it, I guess, if you build the Great Firewall of China, but that's a huge investment.
It's an investment. You need a lot of workers on it.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, I think that's enough news for today. Let me stop this.